Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about some strategies that are going to suit all of you. There's going to be many strategies. There's going to be some for league players, some for the top 1,000, some for the top 3,000, some for the top 10. So strategy for everybody. Okay, so this is a family program. Just come on down. We're gonna get the notepad out. All right. Now, what kind of players are left playing Supercoach right now? All right. There are teams that are in the going for outrights. Okay, so there are teams in the top 10. All right. There are teams in the top 100. All right, they're trying to get into the top 10 like Abs Magic is, all right? There's teams in the top, say, 500, all right? They're trying to get into the top 100, okay? So everyone has a different objective. Teams in the top 10 are trying to win it, okay? Teams in the top 100 are trying to get into the top 10, and the teams in the top 500 are trying to get into the top 100s, all right? Whereas the teams in the top 1,000, okay, are trying to go up as high as they can, but they also want to try to get into the top 100 as well, but it's a little bit more difficult for them. We're going to see how hard it is for the teams in the top 1,000. We're going to check that in a minute. All right, then you have teams that are in the top, let's say, 3,000, all right? They got some hope, okay, to get into the top 1,000, but they got a bit of work to do. And then you got teams in the top, say, 10,000, okay? Now, these teams, unfortunately, they're not going to win Supercoach this year. It's going to be very hard. Okay, now if you can win Supercoach with 9 games to go from top 10,000, I'll give you my house. Okay, I'll give you everything. Anyway, so most of these teams in the top 10,000 onwards, all right, they're probably going to play for leagues now. All right, so that's the only thing left for them, leagues. They've had a crack. They've given it their best. But sometimes it doesn't work out. I mean, it's hard, okay? You're competing against 180,000 people. So you had a bit of bad luck. It didn't work out for you. So next up, you're going to play for leagues. So how do you play for leagues now? How do you plan for leagues, you may ask? So let's sort out the top 10,000 first. Let's help them out first, all right? Now, we're going to go through one of the leagues. Let's pick a random one. Actually, I'm going to try to go to a league probably not doing as well. So let's go to Scodfather Cup number 3. Okay, now this league from memory is ranked 345. So it's not one of the best leagues. So we should have a few 10,000 plus teams in here. Now, let's go down the bottom. Okay, let's go to a team like Fishless Crisp. All right, ranked. How are we ranked? Fishless Crisp. They're ranked 20,000 right now. Okay, now Fishless Crisp. Now, what they need to do is win 2 more games, and then catch up to the virtually they catch up to 5th spot. Okay, so they're not that far behind. So all they got to do now is hold off from trading. There's no point trading now. You trade weekly based on your opponent. Okay, now who are you playing this week? Let's have a look. Fisher's Crisp. Who are they playing? Game day. Okay, let's have a look. Just we're in round 16. Okay, let's who is Fishless Crisp playing this week? Where's Scodfather Cup 3? There it is. That's Black Book 3. I'll explain that another day what that means. Okay, now Scodfather Cup 3. Why can't I find it? There we go. A head-to-head. Now Fishless Crisp. Okay, now are playing. Where are you? Okay, I'm just trying to find. Okay, I'm looking. Okay, I can't find it. Why isn't it here? Okay, Fisher's Crisp. That's game. It's got to have a Cup 3. I think they're going for a holiday. Okay, they've gone missing. Okay, here they are. Okay, they're playing Yanko, who's my friend. That's Master Yanko, the Makedonsky man. Okay, now Fisher's Crisp is playing Yanko. Now, let's have a look at the matchup. Now, the matchup's going to be close. Now, if Fisher's Crisp is going to win this game without making a trade, they don't need to make a trade. Okay, now, so for Fisher's Crisp, can hold off from trading. Now, I certainly would highly say do not get a 23rd primo. You don't need one. Okay, hold your trades for as long as you can, and try to use them in the finals if you can get to the top 8. For your job now is to get a top 8. So same as Youngcore, whereas Youngcore most likely will have to use a trade to catch up to Fisher's Crisp, okay, in case he's losing. So whoever's losing this matchup has to use their trade. They have to win. It's win at all costs now. 5 games to go. You got to start winning games now, okay? You can't play finals if you can't win. Just come down. Now, let's go to a team that's ranked back in that same league, Scodfather Cup 3. Let's go for Eddie's team here now. That's my friend here, Eddie. And Eddie, along with Eugen, okay, also my friend on Twitter. Actually, Billy's also, they're all my friends here. I can't believe this. Okay, now, let's go for Eddie's team now. Eddie is in the top 4. He's safe, okay? However, he's got Billy here, the goat herder, okay? And he's got Jonot, the Frenchy Bomberger, just around the corner. They're going to catch him. Now, if Eddie loses this game, he gets taken over. I mean, there's all of them. There's Stefan, Healing Hikes, who I'm playing this week. He's got a tough matchup. But however, if Healing Hikes defeats Abs Magic, and if Janot wins, and if Billy, the Goat Herder, wins, then Eddie's in trouble. All right, so Eddie's going to drop if he loses. So even Eugene's in trouble. So these 2 teams must win. Okay, they must hold double chance. So even though you're playing for leagues, you've got to watch your matchup and make sure you win. And to win, you might need to do a trade to upgrade a rookie to a primo. So that's something to think about if you're in the top 4 or the top 8, or even going down here. These boys here. That's Andrew. Okay. Andrew's ranked 744. Okay, he can't even get in the top 8. What's going on? Okay, that's unbelievable. Anyway. Let's move on. So virtually what I'm saying is top 10,000 doesn't need to trade. Only trade if you're losing your matchup, okay? So otherwise, you can hold your trade because you're playing on a weekly basis now for the top 10, for these top 10,000s, okay? So there's no rush to trade, okay? Now, the top 3,000 is a different story. Now, they're stuck in between. Do I play for leagues or do I go for the top 1,000? And most likely they played all year to get this far. They're going to go for the top 1,000. Okay, that's the goal. Okay, and they every chance of getting it. Let's have a look at the difference between how many points difference between top 1,000 and top 3,000. In the top 1,000. Okay, let's write this down now. Who's top 1,000 here? We have a team, Draggery Stars. That's Mark's team. He's 1,001. So let's use him as an example. Okay, so he's on 32,321. Okay, that's top 1,000. Now let's go further down and let's find the top 3,000. Okay, so we're going to go further down. We're going to bypass all these players here. All right. Okay, keep going down. Okay, it keeps freezing for some reason here. Okay, let's keep going down. We're nearly there. We're 2,000 now. We're at the big bad Brisbane Bears. That's Evan's team. We're just passing him now. Okay, let's keep going down. All right, going to the top 3,000. All right, and as you can see, all right, I think there's gonna be about here we go. All right, we're here. All right, this is 6 stars. That's Stephen's team. He's ranked 2,999. Now, he's got 32,013 points. Okay, so you can see there's 300 points difference. 32,000 and, what did we say? 32,000 and, well, let's just say 10, all right? 32,000, or just to make it exactly 13, all right? 32,013. Okay, so that's the top 3,000. Now, the top 10,000, it's going to take me forever to get there. So I'm just going to pause and try to find it. We're at the top 10,000. Here we go. Let's use Marty's Mob. That's Marty's team. Now, he's got 31,545. So if he gets another 500 points, he gets to the top 3,000. However, that's not enough to get to the top 1,000. He needs virtually 800 points to get to the top 1,000. So it's very difficult for him. Okay, so he needs it's a tough gig. Okay, now it can be done, but you got another 9,000 players in between here who are trying to do the same thing. So it's very hard from top 10,000 to get there. All right, but it can be done. Okay, but you need a miracle. However, from the top 3,000 to the 1,000, you only need about 300 points, and that's very possible. Okay, easily can be achieved. So what do you need to do? Okay, to get 300 points, we got 9 weeks, roughly about 35 points a week. So you need a pod. Okay, so when we see people or players picking up common players, okay, and for example, players like Rosie are very, very popular this week, okay? Everyone's going to grab Rosie this week. Now, if you grab Rosie this week with everybody else, is that going to make you catch up, okay? Or is that going to make you the same thing? Because you might as well grab a donut. It's the same thing because everyone's got Rosie. So what you want to do is grab a different player. You want to grab a player that's in 5% of teams, all right? Or even 10%, it's okay. And you need 2 of them, okay? You need 2. You got to find 2 players between now and within the next 2 or 3 weeks that are in 10% of teams that can make the difference. That's why it's called pod, player of difference. Just coming down. Now, teams ranked in the top 1,000, 32,321. Top 500, 32,470. It's only 150 point difference between top 1,000 and top 500. So it's actually very close. Okay, even the top 3,000 is very close to top 1,000. This is extremely close. It's going to be up and down. I can't believe it's this close after 15 rounds. That's actually insane. Okay, now difference between top 500 and top 100 is only 300 points. There's not much difference there either. Okay, they're all within reach. Between top 100 and top 10, it's 234, 230, 380. It's under 4. It's about 350 points, okay, or 380 points there. Or actually, for me, I'm around about 300 points behind top 10. That's nothing, okay. And then you got top 1. Then there's a gap, okay, between top 100 and top 1. There's 600 plus points, about 650, 630 points. So this boy here, Chevy Titans, my boy here, Nathaniel, is actually killing it this year. And so it's still achievable for these teams, okay? The only way they can get to the top is by having players that are 5% and 10% different. Now, we can all say this, then if everyone goes for a player that's 5% and 10%, then everyone might have the same player again, so that player might go to 100%, and the player like Rosie might be a pod. So when I say this, you got to look up the percentages, okay? And how you do that is you go here, all right? And you go to Supercoach Plus. You go for, let's go ranked in the top 1%, all right? Let's go over here. And let's just say Rosie, all right, Port Adelaide. Rosie is now in 23% of the top 1% right now, okay? So every 4th team has got Rosie in their teams right now in the top 1%. So you want to go against Rosie, all right? Players like this, you don't want to have someone like Rosie, all right? Because everyone's got Rosie. They're getting, if you're going to get a player that everyone else has got, okay, you're not going to go up. You're going to stay the same thing. So you want to get different, okay? So, I mean, unfortunately for you, these teams, that 23%, or by the time this week's over, it might be 30%, have picked up Rosie at 400k. That's a bargain, all right? So, unfortunately, you can't get this bargain. But what you can get is a player that you want, not a player that you're forced to get, because Rosie is the only bargain, okay? They don't have a choice. They look it up that says 400k, and up pops Rosie, okay? There's no other choice. They've got no one to pick from, okay? So they have to pick Rosie. You got the luxury of picking whoever you want. I'm going to find you that player now. Now, teams in the top 10, okay, and the top, around when you're at the top, or top end, what you don't want is pods, okay? You want opposite of this. You want players that are in players like Rosie in 30%. You want to have players that everyone else has got, because you're doing the reverse of them. If they go good, you go good. If they go bad, you go bad. Same thing. So you want to have what they have, okay? So you want to have players in 30% plus teams. Even a top 20, I would say. We would want to have players in it. You just want to have one player difference, not too many. Because if you're in a top 20, then all of a sudden, 2 good weeks, you become a top 5. Now you don't want to have too many pods. You want to have commons. So your goal now is to turn your team into a common team, not a pod team. That's how I see it. I saw last year, or actually 2 years ago, the top team, he went all pods and he crashed because it was a big mistake. He needed to stick with the teams below him, but he went different, and it didn't work out for him. Now, this leads us to our team. Okay, now our ranking, let's get it here, home, is 32,806, all right, ranked 83, okay? 32,806, that's 350 points exactly, actually, 350 points exactly from top 10. 350 points in 9 weeks. That's roughly around about, that's a lot of points. That's 40 points. Okay, that's a good captain option, and maybe a pod going nuts. Okay, now let's have a look at our team. Who's letting us down? Okay, now who's not performing? Who's not giving us these points? Now we've got a few spots. All right, let's optimize this team. All right, so we optimize the team. Dacos, Sheasel, Dale, and McGovern. Very happy with. Ryan, I was happy with. I'm not sure anymore. And Clark, I was happy to get him when I got him, but that's without the news that they're not going to hog the ball anymore. So let's see what happens with these two now. I'm happy to hold for now. Now, we have 5 trades left. We need a forward. And the forward that I want to get, all right, let's get the forward first, all right? Let's take out Fraser. And let's have a look at forwards. All right, let's go here. Actually, before we do that, let's go players. All right, let's go forwards. I want a pod, all right? And that's what I want. But I don't really want to... It doesn't have to be a pod. I can get the pod elsewhere, all right? But I prefer to have a pod that's half decent. Now, Supercoach +1, top 1%. Now, who are the popular forwards? Now, Isaac Heaney is 99.9% owned. Okay, that's incredible. Okay, 99.8. Now, you can see the top 4. Heaney, Flanders, Zorko, and Fisher. Everyone's got them. Okay, and then you go to Dowling, who's just a spare. Now, there's two extra players in that forward line that we need. Now, who are they? Now, Jackson is highly owned. We don't have him. That's a good thing, because that's an anti-pod, all right? Who else is a premium? Now, Curnow is 37% owned, and we're thinking about getting him. So, in a way, okay, it's good to have a pod. It's also good to have a common, especially someone like Curnow. Curnow, if he goes 180 and you don't have him, you're in trouble. So a player like Curnow, you can actually get as a stopper, because the pod that I have, okay, well, you got Rankin here at 25%. I don't have Rankin. You got Simpkin at 13%. That's who I have. I have Simpkin, and there's Caldwell at 12%. I would prefer Caldwell. I've got Simpkin. So virtually, I've got Simpkin versus every week. It's going to be Simpkin versus Jackson for me every week. I'm happy with that. Okay, it's a good battle. So for me, I'm happy to bring in Charlie Curnow this week. I just have one player different. All right. So let's go to our midfield. Okay, let's go to our team. And let's take out Fraser. And let's bring in Curnow. All right. Sign the deal. Let's sign the papers. Okay, we're going to sign the papers, all signed up, and let's bring in Curnow. Okay, he's locked in. Now, the next question becomes, do we need a 23rd primo? Okay, now 23rd primo is very handy. Okay, they're very useful. Okay, because what happens? All right. Let's say this week, the Bont, they're saying he may have a sore back, may not play, okay? But the chances are he will play. But if the Bont doesn't play, who's going to cover the Bont? Well, we got Dowling, Bytel, and Clark. We don't have many options, so it's going to most likely be Dowling, okay? Going to cover the Bont. We can use Brown if we want to, but we don't want to use Brown, so it's most likely going to be Dowling. We're going to take a loss, okay? It's going to be Dowling versus, Rosie, virtually. So if the people have got Rosie, it'll be Rosie versus Dowling to cover the Bont, and most likely we're going to lose points, okay? That's what's going to happen. There's no way that Dowling, let's say he scores a 60, Rosie scores a 100, we'll lose 40 points. Okay, so that's just bad luck. Okay, it's going to happen. However, the next option, all right, is to get rid of a player that's not scoring that well. All right, now let's say Matt Rowell. Okay, now Rowell is in bad form right now. I've looked at Rowell's draw. Okay, it's quite good. It's not that bad. Okay, now he has Collingwood. He should do well. He has North Melbourne. He's going to cop the tag, all right? Against North Melbourne, he scored an 83, right? He's going to cop the tag. Against Port, Drew's going to tag him. Against GWS, he probably survives a tag. Again, he actually did okay against GWS last time, 129. So he may do good against GWS because Bedford might tag one of the faster boys, okay? Might tag Anderson. But he gets a tag against Brisbane Lions. Only scored 65. So his draw... And then comes West Coast. He did okay against West Coast as well. He scored a 136. But doesn't matter. Again, then against Essendon, he cops another tag. Okay, he's going to cop the new tagger they've got. So Rowell's draw is not the best. All right, we need someone that's going to have no tags. Okay, we need points. Okay, we're going to make up 40 points a week. It's not going to be Matt Rowell. Now, Sam Walsh, on the other hand. Okay, now let's get a Sam Walsh now. Sam Walsh. Plays Richmond. Okay, that's a good draw. Plays GWS. He'll cop the Bedford tag. Okay, so he's going to cop a tag next week. The following week, he plays the Dogs. He might cop, even the Dogs tag these days. So he might cop a tag from the Dogs. And did he play Dogs? He hasn't played Dogs yet. Anyway, he played GWS. He scored 130 against GWS last time. Against North, he might cop a tag. Okay, against Port, he might cop a tag. Then he plays Collingwood. Against Hawthorn, he might cop a tag. And then he plays West Coast, might cop a tag. And then he could get tagged every week. Okay, so Walsh, even though the teams are easier to play against, virtually all of them have got a tagger, except for Collingwood and Richmond. So I need these two gone, all right? Rowell and Walsh both have to go. Let's have a look at Green. Right, plays Adelaide, no tag. Plays Carlton, they may tag. Okay, now plays Richmond, no tag. Gold Coast don't tag. Melbourne don't tag. Or Hawks will tag. Brisbane will tag. Freo may not tag. So it's actually a good draw for Green. So these two have the really bad draws right now. All right, Matt Rowell and Sam Walsh. Now who do we trade out first? Rowell has a break even of 140. Walsh has a break even of 119. So we're better off to trade out Matt Rowell, okay? Because he's going to lose the more cash. We're trying to save cash at the same time. So who do we bring in? All right, let's have a look. Now what I've done here is I've gone into the filters, all right, and I've typed in midfield and defender because I'm not fussy which one I get. Okay? I'm happy to get either one because if I get a defender, if I can find a good defender, I can put Dacos in the midfield and then still get the defender. So it's not a problem. I can get defender or midfielder. And I put the price range between 420k and 570k. And then I've gone ranked in the top 1% because I'm looking for a pod. And so these are the players that are pods right now. Like, for example, Josh Kelly, only 3 people own him, all right? So Stephen May, only 2 people own him. There's even people that own Who else to it? There's Robot and one person. Taranto, one person. Okay, so one person in the top 1% owns Taranto. So these are the players we're looking at. Okay, now there's Newman. Two people own Newman. Let's have a look at Newman. There actually are some good pods here. All right, now Newman is not the worst, but he's not gonna. He's gonna get you these 104s, 102s. He's not gonna win you Supercoach. Okay, so Newman's not the answer. Let's have a look at Taranto. What's he done? Now, Taranto's a bit better. Forget the first game where Gold Coast smashed them. 105, 100, 128, one bad game, 92, then a 105 and a 130. He's actually doing better right now than both Walsh and the Weapon. He's doing better than both of them, all right? Taranto is an option, all right? And last year, we've seen how Taranto... Actually, let's have a look at last year how Taranto went. Now, last year, in the front half of the year, he went nuts. Okay, 144, 140, 118, 90, 118, 140. Absolutely nuts, okay? However, in the back half of the year, he didn't go too nuts. So I don't know what to make of it now, okay? So he didn't go that well. He actually went terrible. He virtually did what the Weapon's doing right now. Went complete U-turn. So, which Taranto are we going to get? This front half Taranto or this back half Taranto? Now, that's a question. I don't like a player that has two different personalities, okay? Like Taranto has two of them. So I'm probably going to pass on Taranto. Okay, let's go further down, all right? Nick Newman we spoke about. Joy Newcomb, okay? Now, can Joy Newcomb become a pod? Okay, now, problem with Joy Newcomb is every second week he scores a 60. Is are not good, okay? He's actually very expensive too, $5.19. Jack Viney, okay, in the midfield. What has he got to offer? He's got a 108, and that was against North Melbourne. 52, 99. He is not doing that well, okay? Even as a midfielder, he's out of form. The entire Melbourne midfield is out of form, okay? There's something wrong. Stephen May in defence. He just hasn't got the scores, okay? And two people own him, but I don't think they're happy owners right now. Let's go further down. Wardlaw. Now, 3 people in the top 1% own Wardlaw. Only 3, okay? And his last 3 scores are 114, 122, 122. These are big, okay? Now, are we going to back in a kid to continue? Now, who's he matching up against? This is a tough matchup against the Dogs. Okay, he's got against Libba. Okay, now then he's got Gold Coast, Sydney. That's another. Not that Carlton's a tough matchup. He's got the Dogs twice. Okay, that's not good. The draw is easy. He's got Gold Coast as well. So he's got Libba, followed by the Weapon. Okay, he's going to play against 2 Bulls. I'll probably pass on him. Okay, Saligo, Himmelberg, Powell. Okay, let's have a look at Powell. Powell could be the man. Okay, Powell scoring 125, 140. Well, against Richmond. No, here we go. Wrong scores. 117, 106, 103. More of a 110 type of guy. Okay, that's not too bad. So Powell is one option. All right, let's get the notepad out. Okay. We need to find 2, remember, okay? So we need Powell's 1. We're only going to use 1 this week, but next week another one. Now, Libba is only in 5 teams, okay? That's pretty good. And Libba, look at this for Libba. Actually, Libba is massive. That's a massive pod. Only in 5 teams. Okay, so Powell, Libba is another one, okay? McGluggage we're not interested in, okay? McGluggage is not scoring. Something wrong with McGluggage's scoring, okay? Even against Richmond, 61, where they went bananas, okay? He has one big game, but the rest are no good. So we're not interested in McGluggage. I can't say it. Ambrosios, no, is on the wing, too dangerous. Ollie Wines, no. Boak, no. Trent Rivers, I don't trust anyone in Melbourne, okay? So no for Rivers. Ed Richards. Ed Richards, 163, 118, 77 half time and injured, okay, at 115. This is a good scores, okay, so let's put it down. Richards. Except I wrote Richards, okay, so it's going to be Richards. So we've got Richards there. Keep going down. Harley Reid is an interesting one, all right? If I don't pick up Curnow, I pick up Harley Reid, but I've got to get Curnow. So that's, unless I watch Curnow this week and watch Harley Reid this week, and then Harley Reid plays Melbourne, okay, can destroy them. Then he's got tough games, 2 tough games in a row. Then he's got a North Melbourne tag. Actually, maybe not Harley Reid. Okay, now let's keep going down. Is there anyone? Rory Laird. Okay, now, see that score there, 141, right? You're going to look at these other scores here, right? Actually, these aren't too bad, right? But then you got this 80, 74, 98, 65, 93, 86, and you're going to say he's got the very, very low floor, you know, he's not doing much, okay? Then as the old good one, he's changed roles, and now he's playing in defence. I listened to his podcast. Oh, well, he had an interview on in Adelaide yesterday, and I listened to it, and I was very happy with what I heard. He's playing pure defence now, and that's where he's got the 141 from, in defence. So Laird is number 1 on my list. Target number 1 is Laird. Okay, now these other 3 are target number 2s. Okay, now Laird's break even. All right, where's the break even? Is 79. Okay, Ed Richards' break even is 121. So I can wait on Ed Richards. Libba's break even. Where's Libba? Libba's break even is 98. Okay, so he might go up, but still, we've got the lower break even on Laird, so I might as well grab Laird. Now, there's no other players that I'm going to look at. Okay, that's it. Actually, there is one. Okay, Jordan Ridley. Break even 126. Let's put Ridley on that list. Okay, and Ridley. Okay, we've got our list here, all right? These are the 5 players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right, that I want to bring in. 2 of them. Laird is 1, and 1 more. Who's going to be the other one? Okay, let's go back to our team, and let's go to our plan. So the plan is going to be, we're not going to have a 23rd, all right? We're going to, let's say we traded out Raul this week, all right, and we brought in Laird, which we're going to do, all right, complete the trade. That gives us 17k left, all right. Now I've got 3 trades left. Now next week we're going to get rid of Walsh. Let's say Walsh loses some cash. So Walsh 119, he might even get that. Okay, let's say he gets a 100, loses 10k, goes to 534k. All right, get the calculator out. Calculator. All right, 534 plus, how much? We had 18 left. 18. We've got 552. We may not have enough money to bring in Libba. Okay, so it may have to be Ridley. I would love Libba. Okay, but might not have enough cash. But before Libba, I really like Laird. Because if I bring in Libba now, then I've got no cash for no one else. So Laird is actually the cheaper option as well. Okay, so for example, if I bring in Libba here, then I can't bring, the next week I've got no cash for nobody, okay, because Libba costs more, okay, and I don't know if I could bring Libba in. Actually, I can't even bring Libba. He's 560, I don't have enough cash for him. I could bring Richards this week, but his break-even's high enough, I can wait. So Libba is probably out of the question unless he goes bad. So let's go back to Adelaide, and let's bring in, we already got him there, Laird. Okay, so Laird's in. Now, if we don't bring in Curnow, okay, we have 474k. Okay, go by average. Even last week's scores. We don't have enough cash for Caldwell. Caldwell's 476, 300, 474, 600. We're short, so that's why we bring in Curnow. We don't have a choice. Okay, so plus probably Curnow is probably better for us. So these are the trades this week. We're not going to bring in the 23rd for one reason, because we don't have enough cash or trades. Okay, and for another reason, I want to put all my cash out in here in the midfield. Okay, I want to have all my money in. I want to have the best possible team, rather than having a Walsh, for example, who may cop a tag, and let's say we got the 23rd player here, Rosie, and we're going to alternate Rosie and Walsh, where both can probably score our 100s, and we miss out on a player like let's just say Laird, who goes a 140. Okay, so I'm actually losing. So I'm better off to have the Laird here, or even the Ed Richards, who might go 120, rather than have one of these two. So that's the idea of not having the 23rd. Plus, if you get a 23rd and he gets injured, you just wasted a trade. Okay, so and that happened to me last year. Okay, I had a 23rd and a 24th last year. They both got injured. Okay, I couldn't even use them. Mind you, they weren't really. One was Yo, one was Fife. But that's not the point. The point is I got injured. Okay, so I couldn't even use them. Anyway, that's for trades for this week. Okay, so back to trades. We have Laird and Curnow in, Rowell and Fraser out. Laird's ownership, let's have a look at it. Okay, ownership players, top 1%. Okay, we want it to be very low. All right, let's have a look how low. We're happy with 10%. Okay, or lower. Adelaide, what is ownership? It's 74 people, 4.1%, very low. Okay, very happy with that. So Laird is going to be our key. Virtually, here's our hope. If Laird fails, we fail. It's as simple as that. Okay, so we're relying on Laird and the player that we bring in next week. That's our hope to finish off this. Here's the weapon now. Okay, so Laird is the weapon. Just cover down. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.